Hi, good evening. This is Tamar Maizes, and my literature review is on news stream analysis. So what we're going to talk about first, we're going to introduce what news stream analysis even means. Then we're going to talk about two news systems. One is News Blaster, tracking and summarizing news. The second article is News in Essence. And the third article is a theoretical article that discusses ranking a stream of news, that proposes a framework, and then we're going to summarize. So text stream mining provides a set of tools. We have a lot of data that's produced over time, specifically social networks, and we have to do something with all this data and produce knowledge. Online news services are an example of how we take these massive text streams and create knowledge that help people. Indexing and ranking news are among the most important activities online. And what these online news systems do, they offer systems that cluster the news by topics and events, and they offer news to the users that they can actually manage. And in order to do so, they have to solve a wide variety of problems, such as topic modeling, what topic is the article discussing, classifying the articles, clustering them by specific events. So in this survey, we're going to review two such systems. The first one is Columbia's Newsmaster. So again, it's a online news summary. What the system does is it crawls the web for news articles, clusters them on specific topics, and then we produce a summary for each cluster. So how do they do this? First, they crawl news sites, they gather the news, and then they cluster it in three levels. The top level is predetermined categories such as finance, the medium level is related events, and the lowest level is the actual event, where how do we cluster it? We do, there's a similarity function using TF-IDF weights, but also terms and phrases and proper nouns that are likely to correlate with events and not just related events. So that enables us to do clustering on the lowest level as well. Next, we summarize the events, where they have a destined appropriate summary for different types of clustering. For example, a person-centered summary, a multi-event summary, and last, they add images that they found to the summary. So News Blasters, what makes them unique and one of their main contributions is that they generate summaries on specific events. A lot of the other systems just summarize events that are topically related. And also, like we said, they have a special summary tool that for different types of clusters. And like we said, they have a clustering, a hierarchical view of the news. We said the top level clustering, the lower level, which is specific events, and they propose a new approach to generating those clusters. If it's based on the event, so they label it by using the headline that is most similar to the other articles, and in the medium level they use the top 5 proper names and terms. So a limitation is, of course, that they don't include social media sites, which today are a very important news source. And future work, they're currently working on getting the captions that they take the images, so they want to use the captions as well. Okay, so the second system is News in Essence. The main idea, delivers and summarizes online news. Here we have what's special here is that we're talking about the users, a lot of user specifications. We'll elaborate that soon. So the method is the user selects a news story from a website or enters a query, and based on that query, we search different news websites. We search starting from the seed article. We look for related articles. When we run out of related articles, we take the keywords that we found during the first search and we use those as search terms, and we continue to find similar articles. Now, we found a lot of articles. We don't add all of them to the cluster. We add to the cluster based on the similarity of the text to the original seed. If it is above a certain threshold, we add it to the cluster, otherwise we discard it. Main contribution is that it provides a very elaborate summary in comparison with other news systems. It allows the user to create personalized clusters. What does that mean? For example, he could select which of the articles, if they found a list of articles, we could decide which ones we want to include in the summary. We could specify the desired summary length, and we can exclude specific articles that we want to from the summary. Another option is that they give a tracking option where if I'm interested in a specific cluster, a specific event, or specific related events, I can ask to continue getting updates from this cluster to my email at a certain time a day. Limitations, same limitation. It does not include social media websites, and what they're working on is currently working on cross-document structure theory, which can identify different specific parts of the summary, such as the background information, additional information, and we can recognize these different textual units. The third article is, as opposed to the first two that were case studies, is theoretical, and it discusses ranking news sources and a stream of news information. It proposes a ranking framework because with news is a fresh item, so we can't use regular ranking systems such as PageRank and so on and so forth, because we don't have HTML links because it's fresh and new articles, so we have to provide a specific ranking. And a lot of the commercial frameworks, such as Google don't provide this information, is not public, how they rank the news articles and news sources and choose what to show the users. So this is what this article discusses. So like we said, no academic research has been published on ranking a stream of news, even though we know that commercial use has been done. Also, they offer a linear algorithm, which allows a continuous process of ranking, which is very important with the amount of data we're talking about here. And they collected more than 300,000 pieces of news to validate their ranking framework, and they proved that their algorithm is robust. So they propose 4 important properties for a ranking scheme. The first one is we have the rank for the news articles and for the news sources. The second one is important stories are replicated by many sources. So the size of the cluster is a measure of how important this article is. Third, mutual reinforcement. For example, if we have similar articles from different sources, the article coming from the better source will receive better ranking. And of course, like we said, fresh news are more important than old ones. That's how it works in the news world. So how do they rank a news source? So we have RNT on the right. It shows what you can see. RNT is the rank of news article. RST is the rank of source. SN equals SK if N was posted by source SK. So we have the rank of the piece of news generated in the past. The rank of a news source equals all the rankings of articles generated in the past, plus the ranking the rank of news articles that were posted by other sources that are similar to those issued by our news source, where this little factor here shows how similar the two articles are. Ranking of an article is the rank of the news source plus similar articles that were published by all the news sources. Future work, they want to extend their ranking approach to include a user's personal taste. That the ranking should include what the user prefers, and not just the mutual reinforcement like we just saw. And they'd like to apply their ideas to other classes, such as ranking publications, authors, and scientific journals. So future work in the news stream analysis world. So improving summaries. Today they're very good at identifying relevant information, but the resulting summaries are often not on such high levels. So as summaries improve and research in summarization improves, this will show in this field as well. And a big problem is to include summaries that change and evolve over time. To include stories that are connected to an event. So we have to differentiate what's new information, what we learned today, and to see that it's relevant with information that was posted yesterday. This is a very difficult problem. And of course, validation. It's difficult to, in both ranking and the news systems, it's very difficult to know if they're working well. How can we evaluate if the ranking scheme is well? Is working well? How can we evaluate if the summaries are working well? So today we reviewed two online news stream systems, News Blaster and News in Essence. And also the third paper we reviewed is a theoretical paper that offers a ranking framework and algorithm for news sources and news articles. So just to review the comparison, like we see here, and we have customized summaries. So News in Essence offers it, while News Blaster doesn't. But at the same time, News Blaster offers summaries on three different levels. Like we said, finance, related events, and specific, which News in Essence does not. And News Essence provides a very elaborate summary, and there's many more comparisons. Of course, there's also Yahoo and Google News, which we didn't discuss here. Thank you.